Okay, fire away.
Sean's, I guess.
No questions?
Just what does this night mean to you?
This night means a great deal to me. I was with the organization when the baby was born, if you will. Back in 1970, I had never dreamed that I would last this long, coming up to 93. And I've seen them all, gone through them all, have enjoyed each and every year. I love to broadcast the games, and now it's time for me to turn it over to other people. My health is not as good as it used to be, but I'm still as ornery as ever. And I'll keep on doing what I can for this organization, who has been very good to me over these years. I'll miss the traveling and all the other things that went into what I was involved in, but it's time. This is going to be a very special night. I'll probably cry sometime along the line. I hope not. But what the fans have done over the years, they've been right with me. And they always tried to tell the story as it was of that game, because even though it's a regular basketball game, there's always a story to tell. And I try to do that at all times. And now to have all of you in front of me, I'm not used to this at all. It's very, very special.
Sean, can you talk about your relationship with the fans over the years? Because I mean, even though you haven't called games since '98, like you're still such a huge part of how fans view this organization. So I'm curious if you could talk about your relationship with fans and what that relationship has meant to you throughout the years.
Well, the fans back in the beginning, I've got to go back in time here in 1970, were mixed emotions at the time. They didn't know what was going to happen. They have a major league sports team in town and in the state and in the Northwest. And that was tough right in the beginning. But then all of a sudden, after a few broadcasts, and I got around the state and talked to all these people, they followed me. So they tell me. I just try to do my job. And they've been a great group of people, very large now, and I'm very thankful for them. I hear from them all the time. Somebody, hey, Sean, do you remember this? Do you remember that? And I forget. I guess I did it, I don't know.
Sean's, one of the things that will never be forgotten is Rip City. When you first became a play-by-play announcer, could you have ever imagined, or an announcer, could you ever have imagined that a phrase that you coined was going to live on like it will?
I had no idea. That was not pre-planned or anything. It was the action of the time. We're playing the Lakers across the street here. And it was an exciting ball game, and all of a sudden the Blazers, they were down by 20 or 25. You know how that goes. And then this time the team started to come back. We get to the point. Jim Barnett was playing for us at the time, the former U of O player. And you never knew what he was going to do. In those days, I sat right at center court. So the line was right there, and Barney came up. He turned his head, he looked at me and winked, and for whatever reason, he took the shot. And lo and behold, as I was describing that, it went in. So the crowd was right with it, I was right with it, and I guess I was going to say it ripped the twine or something, but I came out with Rip City, all right. And look what happened. It took a little while for that phrase to go on. I had no idea that all of this was going to happen, but it did, and wherever you go, it's humbling to me, but it's Rip City.
When you
Gee, I feel like Chauncey.
When you think back on just your career as a whole, obviously that moment is one that stands out, but for you, what is like the essence of who you were as a broadcaster?
Well, right in the beginning, the team members from 1970, Rick Adelman and Jeff Petrie were our starting guards in those days. It was a small traveling group. We all traveled commercial, not like they do today, fancy airplanes and all that stuff. But all of a sudden they took me in. In those days, there was the team, one coach, sometimes another coach, a trainer, maybe a guy to handle all the uniforms, and me. That was it. And they took me in, and one thing led to another, and I've always been very close to all the players that came through here. And I'm very proud of that, and a lot of them keep in touch with me. I miss some of the ones who, of course, who have passed away. Jerome Kersey, Maurice Lucas. And I think about all those people every day.
So what now? I mean, obviously you're going to take a step back a little bit, but do you have any plans for kind of maybe what you'd like to do now if you got a little more time on your hands? And I mean, you talk about health stuff.
No, I haven't figured that out yet. But I know one thing: I'll get up in the morning and make the coffee, and maybe get Dottie her breakfast ready, which is easy. It's a box of cereal, and then I'll take the trash out, and then clean up that. Probably go to the store, and by that time it's nap time in the afternoon. Take a little nap. I'll get up and find out what's going on, and obviously I'll have some more Dottie do's to do. And that's at the moment, that's going to be my day. I know I'll find something. I don't have a hobby to spend my life, and broadcasting has been my hobby, and now that part is over. Other than me is still here. But I've enjoyed every moment. I never thought that I would be doing this, because I was always doing something else for the organization. It became my life because of Harry Glickman, who put this franchise together, and he and I knew one another in our hockey days. I was doing the Seattle Totem hockey team, and he had the Portland Buckaroos, and that was a great rivalry. And often we'd see one another, and the last thing I did in Seattle were the Seattle Pilots, the American League Baseball team up there. That didn't last, only about a year and a half. And then they became the Milwaukee Brewers. But I did all those games, and all the games in the Pacific Coast League for the Seattle Angels. So I wasn't involved in basketball at all. I did some Husky basketball games and some high school games at times up there, but I was involved in everything else. Husky football, I was a busy guy. And Harry found out that I was available. He gave me a call, and in his deep voice he said, "Hey, Schonely, how would you like to do NBA basketball?" I said, "Wow. I just had a Major League Baseball broadcasting job. I thought that was pretty good." "Yeah, I'm interested, Harry." He said, "Well, come on down and we'll talk." So I came down to Portland. He put me up in at a very good hotel at the time, years ago. Went over to his office. We sat down, and we talked for about 5 or 6 minutes, shook hands, and that was it. That was, almost 53, 52 years ago. And that's how that started. I thought I was going to be a baseball broadcaster for the rest of my life. I really enjoyed that. And, of course, all of a sudden now I'm into basketball. He said, "The first thing I want you to do, Sean, is make a network, radio network. You think you can do it?" I hesitated a little bit. I said, "All right, I don't know if I can do that." But lo and behold, we got some stations to get on with us. We were on the radio here in town on KOIN Radio, which is no longer, of course, and a couple of other stations. And I just don't know how to describe it that way. I've been involved in it, and now it's over.
Can you imagine how you're gonna feel tonight during the ceremony? Can you imagine the emotions that are gonna, like, what emotions have been sort of going through you today as you get ready for the ceremony?
Whether I made the right decision or not, it's my emotions. I could have just stayed on for a while longer, I'm quite sure. But at my age now, it's just time to do it. So I'm doing it. And I appreciate all you guys, ladies and gentlemen, over the years. Used to sit out there a lot, never thought I'd be sitting here. And now, this is the last game, be the last game for a lot of those kids who've been trying very, very hard to do the right thing, and of course, have been outmatched, obviously. So I hope the organization, the basketball side of it, has a good summer. And I kind of think that's gonna happen. I've got a feeling about that. So I want the folks and you and I will do the same thing. Hope that takes place. And I hope the fans will stay with them. Be patient. The last couple of years have not been very good. We all know that. But there's always tomorrow, and there's always another game.
Any other questions for Bill? Wrap there.